Check, check, check. Check 1, 2, and we are live. We're live. Y'all, welcome in to the stream. Welcome to Track Talk. If you have never been here before to the Track Talk live stream, let me give a quick spiel as to the structure of what this live stream is and how it operates. This live stream, Track Talk, are 20 to 30 minute detailed multiple listen consultations over the structure of your music. So we are going to dive deep into the mix and master, production elements, sound design, lyric and song structure, formatting, so on and so on. The entire structure of what we do and the purpose behind it is to offer specific, professional, and actionable feedback on the structure of your music. If that is interesting to you, and you are over on TikTok, go to my profile, click on the link, and click on Track Talk live stream. If you are on Twitch, type ! Submit in the chat. And if you are on YouTube, go to the description of the live stream. You will see the same link right there. We've got Derek Bennett in the building. We've got Curly Locks in here. Welcome in. Thank you so much for joining. Tribalist is in here. Livy's in here. Welcome in, y'all. Thank y'all so much for dropping by the stream today. We are not going to be on for very long. So if you do feel like you are wanting to submit your music for a consultation, I would do that sooner rather than later, as I'm really only going to be on for a couple hours, taking just a handful of consultations because they do take a while. Probably 4 to 6 consultations, something like that. So if you would like to submit, definitely make sure that you go up to my profile, click on the link, and click on Track Talk Submission, and we'll get hopefully moving with some consultations here in just a little bit. Derek, hope you're doing amazing. Tribalist, good to see you. Make L Life, welcome in. Thank you for joining the live stream. If you're over on TikTok, make sure y'all are tapping the screen. Libby, thank you for the heart me. I appreciate that a lot. Make sure that you're tapping the screen, share out the live with just a few people. And don't forget, just like Libby just did, to send in your heart me for the day. It does help boost the exposure of the live. And by default, anybody who sends in their music as well. So thank y'all so much for being here. Boetz is in the building. What's up, Boetz? Welcome in. I hope you're doing fantastic as well. Derek, thank you so much for the heart me. I appreciate that. Hope y'all are doing absolutely fantastic today. What cam are you using? This is Crispy. This is a Canon C100 Mark II. Canon C100 Mark II, and I believe it's a 24 millimeter lens at 2.4. I'd have to double check. But yes, it is. I'm excited. About this this camera. I've had it for, I don't know, maybe 6 months now. But it's for an older camera, it does a really good job. Austin, thank you for being here, man. I appreciate you. It's good to see you in here. Got you, Derek. Got you. Let me double check. It does get a little bit compressed over on TikTok. It looks even better on Twitch and YouTube. Twitch and YouTube is nice and crispy. TikTok kind of goes through a series of compressions and stuff that kind of do some weird stuff to it. All right, let me see. Let me double check a couple things, man. Hope y'all are doing amazing. Thank y'all so much for joining the stream. June is in the building. What's up, June? How you feeling today? Let me make sure I'm updated on the other platforms here really quick. And Derek, let me double check for you as well. Got you, man. Thank you so much for sending that in. Let me update a few things, and then hopefully we'll get into some music here in just a moment. Keep tapping the screen. Connor, appreciate you hopping in. Connor Lucas, how are you feeling today? Welcome in. 5 degrees. Shit. Yo, you know what's crazy, Derek? We talk about Texas and how brutal Texas is all the time. We're getting like a cold front right now. Like we finally got a cold front, and it is mid-December and it's like 52 degrees. Dude, it's so crazy. Like we were driving around today. We were running an errand this morning, and literally like driving around, and it looks like it just turned like the leaves are just turning colors because it just finally hit 50 degrees. I'm like, what is wrong? what is wrong with Texas? All right, let me update this here. Let me get Derek up on the board. Derek, I appreciate you so much, man. Thank you for sending this in. Let me update my list here. I know, I think I think tomorrow and the day after, it's going to be back to like 70, 75 again, and then maybe go down to the 50s, 60s again. I got to get out of here, man. Gotta get out of here. It's crazy. Thank y'all so much for tapping in. Once again, if you're over on TikTok, keep tapping the screen. Let's try to get to 2,000 likes. We're going to get started with the music here pretty quickly. I just want to kick things off, get things started pretty quickly here. So make sure you are tapping the screen, share it the live with a few people. Let's wake up the algorithm a little bit. And once again, if you are looking for a consultation, if you're wanting a 20 to 30 minute long form detailed breakdown of the structure of your music, go to my profile, click on the link, and click on Track Talk Submission. If you're on Twitch, !submit. And if you are on YouTube, just go to the description of the live stream. You'll see all the steps right there. No, that's great. No, Derek, it's not okay. We don't have seasons here. That's the problem. So allergies are so brutal. Yeah. Probably a good 20 days out of the summer are well over 100. We need seasons, man. We need seasons. Muba, welcome in. Thank you so much for being here. Appreciate you hopping into the stream. What are y'all up to today? What even is today? It's Sunday. I have no concept of time. Absolutely no. Remind me where you're located again, Derek? Why do I want to say like Chicago or something like that? Am I making that up completely? Just got home from work not long ago. Tennessee. Oh, it's already 5 degrees in Tennessee? I've been to Tennessee a couple times, twice, I believe. I've been to Nashville once, and then we drove through and stayed there. This is probably 15 years ago or something like that. It's beautiful. I mean, it's really, really nice. Just for today, Lost and Found. Welcome in. It's pretty. I mean, it's it's very it's hilly, it's green, it's beautiful. I like it. I don't know if I would ever live there, but it is a nice place to visit for sure. Going to be back in the 50s in a day or so. Yeah, that's kind of how it is here. Where we're going down to the 50s and it'll go back to the 70s and then hopefully stick around. I just keep going. I honestly think it's blocking some of your comments too. TikTok is probably like, chill, dude. Libby's like, this hellhole of a state. I think it's blocking your comments because I'm not seeing. I see some. Yeah, you said it's humid. Yeah, the humidity is terrible, but like it's just crazy that it'll be like 102 with 85% humidity. 102 with 85%. Like it's unbearable. It's unbearable. It's like walking out into a steam shower. It's one of the worst things you just can't go out. You can't go outside for like 2 months out of the year. It's brutal. It's absolutely brutal. Gotta get out of here. Yeah. Yeah, no, literally. It's like an infrared sauna. Yeah. We gotta be north. That's where we're trying to figure how in the world to do it. We gotta go up north. We gotta go to the Arctic or something. We gotta figure it out. All right, y'all, let's get into some music. I'm gonna go ahead and jump straight into it. I would love to just go and jump straight into the music today. I don't want to wait around at all. Just a quick reminder again, if you were coming in for the first time, we're going to get into some music here in just a moment. For those of you who don't know, my name is Torvik. I'm a full-time audio engineer, producer, and session musician. It's what I do for a living. I've done that for about 13 plus years. I'm also a classically trained musician. So the whole entire structure of this live stream, the point of this live stream is to offer that experience to y'all, hopefully give you some professional and actionable feedback. This is not a quick review. This is not a trash or pass. There's no ratings. There's no polls. I'm not going to spend 5 minutes and say, get a better mix, have better energy, and then we move on. We are going to spend literally 20 to 30 minutes breaking down your song through multiple listens of it to give you some specific tools and a professional second set of ears. If that is interesting to you, if that would be valuable to you, then just go to my profile, click on the link, and click on Track Talk Submission if you're over on TikTok. Everything else is pretty easy to find over on Twitch and YouTube as well. Let's get into some music. If you're on TikTok, make sure that you are tapping the screen, share out the live with a few people you think will be interested in the format of this live stream, and don't forget to send in your heart rate for the day. It does help boost the exposure of the live. And also by default, any artist that gets them on the stage to send in their music. So let's get into it. Let me go ahead and pull up your email, Derek. Let me get this email refreshed over here so we can pull it up, and let's see what we're working with today. Let's see. Let me get this refreshed. It's not loading yet. There we go. There's Derek's music. Beautiful. Let's dive in, y'all. It's time for some music. We have Derek Bennett in the building. Derek, I appreciate you so much for sending this in. We got the Dropbox. This is Come and See. This is an instrumental vocals coming. Is this a new one to me? Let me know. Mail, welcome in. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate y'all hopping in. Let's get it going. Y'all keep tapping that screen. This is Come and See instrumental. Just made this the other day. Okay, vocals coming. Got you. Sorry, I'm just reading the title and stuff here. Vocals are still to come. Just made this the other day. Any other context you have, let me know. Otherwise, I'm going to go kind of the same lane that we typically do. Production, structure, balancing, things like that. All vocal samples are me. All production is me. Let's go, Derek. I love it. Let's get into it. In a world. Like immediately Here's what you need to do. Here's what you need to do, Derek. You need to, sorry to interrupt. I'm going to start from the beginning, or we're going to get straight into it. Just because this is like my gut response to this is just the intro to a trailer or something like that. What you need to do to promote your stuff, I've done some stuff like this, and honestly, it's done pretty well for me. In fact, the last time that I did this, I had someone reach out to me, said they might be interested in bringing me on to like score stuff and do some sync placements with them and work with their agency and their label. So you never know what kind of opportunities could come with you. Literally, this happened a couple months ago because of me doing exactly what I'm going to tell you to do. You should find trailers for popular movies that you think your music could fit under, you know, whether it's like a Marvel or I don't know, some really cinematic Dune or something, like whatever it may be, a Hans Zimmer film or something. Find trailers that you think your music could fit under. Run them through a voice isolator so you only get the dialogue, and then place your music underneath it. Find some interesting creative way to do that. That might take more work, obviously, because you're not going to get a lot of the Foley, maybe some of the sound design you're not going to get in there, but you should find a way. You should find a way to do that and do kind of what I did with Dune and with Interstellar and stuff like that with the synth stuff, and basically even Retract did this, and he started getting like 20,000 views on some stuff. He did it a couple times a while back, and he was getting a whole bunch of views. So anyways, I'm just saying, like, as soon as I heard this, like, dude, it's a trailer, but I would love to just see it, even like 20 seconds of it as a trailer, because what that does, it immediately kind of gives credibility to what you do, right? Like, it's one thing to just be like, hey, here's my stuff. Keep, definitely, try to see if you like it or whatever. But it's another thing for people to be like, oh yeah, I get it. You know what I mean? Like, as soon as you see your stuff in that environment, you hear your stuff in that environment, immediately you're like, oh, I get it. I get what this is for. And you reach the target market. I did a football trip with Ohio State, and it did okay. Need to do 100%. Just find that thing that works and try to score. So maybe you can get some traction with it. I'm speaking to myself. I need to do that so much more too. I just feel like I don't have time to create it sometimes, but I'm kind of preaching to myself as well. All right, let's run it back from the top. This is Come and See, instrumental by Derek Bennett. Sorry, just as soon as I was like, in a world, I immediately like want to hear that in a trailer. Shippers, welcome in. Hugo, welcome in. Good to see you. Love this with the low octave too. Welcome in. How are you feeling today? Welcome in. Thank you so much for the follow. I appreciate that. $3,005. Thank you. Appreciate the follow. looking too, man. Really cool sound design, cool structure too. In a world. Y'all, show some love. Show some love, show some love. That is Come and See. It's an instrumental right now by Derek Bennett. Really, really talented producer and composer, especially in kind of the cinematic space. So let's get into it. Let's run it from the top. Let's dig into some sound design issues. I want to talk about low string, the kind of spiccatos that you have in there, the balance between that progression and the walking movement of the bass line that you have. You're super, super talented, man. It's really, really well done. You do get a lot of just mud and buildup right there, especially in the lows and the mid lows, because of how low some of those strings pulse while the bass tries to move. That's where you're getting a lot of kind of tension and a lot of energy right there that maybe might not be the most beneficial to the mix. But let's dive into it, man. You're so talented. This is I love the little bends in your vocal there. Those are really, really well done. And by the way, those are all Derek Bennett as well. He sampled his own vocal there as well. Guy like NF would destroy. 100%. I don't disagree. I could absolutely see that. If y'all would like to submit, go to my profile, click on the link, and click on Track Talk Submission. You'll see all the details right there in order to submit. We just got started, but I am only going to be taking a handful of submissions today. Not that many, maybe 4 songs, 6 songs tops. So definitely get in if you would like to get in now, because I'm not going to be on for very long. I will be live again tomorrow for a full spread. I'm just only going to be on for probably about 2 hours or so today. So get in while you can. But let's get it. I'm excited to dive into this. Once again, this is Come and See by Derek Bennett. Let's get this back to the top and let's dive into some details here. And this is also, he did this like yesterday or the day before. This is very fresh. There's not vocals on it, but there will be vocals on it. So this is very early stages. It's strictly a demo. It's not mixed or balanced. So I'm not going to look at it from that perspective. We're mainly going to dive into production structure, sound design choices, progression movement, stuff like that. Let's dive in. Let's get into it. Like, I love those melodies from the vocal that you sampled right there. Beautiful. What's up, Dizzy? Welcome in. Sorry, I don't get the notifications. If y'all redeem on Twitch, let me know. I don't get the notifications anymore. Pretty good, man. Thank you so much for hopping in. I appreciate it. Appreciate you. Love the bass. Really nice, man. This whole first section here, obviously there's some bouncing that needs to be done. You're already going to take care of, and you will eventually potentially have some vocal. Honestly, it stands alone as an instrumental as well. But even with vocals, I think it's gonna be really dynamic. This whole first section right here, to me, sounds pretty dynamic. It sounds really nice. You have great range dynamically. Sound design is really nice. I love your transitions. It doesn't feel compartmentalized at all. You have some nice swells and movements and risers and bends and portamentos that feel really, really nice. I got some cool vocals for it. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Luzik, thank you so much for hopping in. I appreciate you being here. How you feeling today? So yeah, this whole first section here, I feel like dynamically, sound design wise, is really good. I think when the next bass comes in, that I really want to listen for the progression and the structure there. But yeah, man, this whole first section sounds really, really nice. Oh, right there. So like immediately. So as soon as we have, this is a D sharp minor, right? Yeah. Yeah, so that off the D sharp minor. So what I'm kind of listening for on this lower part of your structure here, right? This is like the first quarter of the song right here. Whole first section, really, really nice. Great separation. Everything sounds good. Obviously, it's unmixed, and that's going to happen. On the kind of B section here, you bring it back down, and you bring in kind of the spiccatos, the low end of the string right there. And then you also have another bass that comes in. the two that are kind of right on top of each other right there, they don't follow the same progression, but they both do feel like the same register and same frequency range. So you do end up with this, with a whole lot of like mud right there where you start to lose any distinction between those two elements. I would either probably watch, go an octave higher on the strings or the spiccato right there, or as needed, maybe walk the progression with those strings as well. Let me back it up just a minute. We'll go back through that section, but I would just make sure that all of those different elements follow that walk down from the D sharp minor, so that everything's kind of pointed in the same direction, or find a different way to create that tension. Sorry, let me double check some messages here really quick. Oh, doo-doo. Let's see. Please can you listen to my new song, Max Alexander, Hold On. Hello, if I send my song now, when will it be my turn? I got you, Derek. I want to run by it one more time so I can make sure I get the right spot for you. If y'all would like to submit your music, these are 20 to 30 minute consultations. So each artist, producer, engineer, musician that's sending in their music, we spend about 20 to 30 minutes diving into the details of your music structure. So mix and master, production, sound design, lyric and song formatting, whatever it may be. We're going to get really deep into the details. Listen to your song probably 2 or 3 different times to make sure that we really get into the nuances of it and hopefully offer you some actionable, specific feedback on the structure of your music. So if that's interesting to you, you can find all those details by going to my profile, click on the link, and click on Track Talk Submission. How fast you go is up to you. Right now, line is wide open because we just hopped on. This is our first song that we've listened to. So it's 10 to get on, and you can always skip fast. If y'all need to see a line at any point, if it does build up a little bit, then just let me know. I just have to switch screens and switch things over here really quick if I want to show you that. But I can do that at any point fairly easily. I'll just try to focus on the consultation while we're in it. Okay. Timestamp. I think it's around like 105, but let me double check here. So starts at 104, right? Yeah. So this progression, you hear the pulsing, the spiccato on the right side there on the D sharp. That's where we first hear that note kick in. I actually think it's, is it 2 octaves there? So if I'm hearing correctly, it kind of sounds like there's that spiccato on the right side. It almost sounds like there's another one an octave lower kind of to the middle or maybe partially to the left that's just an octave below it. And that, I think, and then you have a bass that moves underneath it. I've got a double bass and a cello. Okay, I think that's what I'm hearing. So you kind of have this here all in the middle. And then that, and then you hear, then this and that. That's exactly what I'm hearing. So yeah, you do have it's a spiccato on the right, spiccato in the middle, and they're both kind of pulsing right there in the middle of the track. One on the left, one farther to the right, middle or slightly left, and then one farther to the right. And then the synth bass, I think, if I'm hearing correctly, is the one that follows the progression. So then you have another one following the progression, and that's where you're getting the mud. So you have this, which is fine, right? 2 octaves right there from the double bass, and the cello, and then underneath it, you have the synth bass that's following the progression. So basically what you end up hearing is so every once in a while, you'll get one of those like triads, like one of those chords that kind of makes a little bit more sense. And then it gets really muddy again, and then it makes sense just depending on the note that the bass is walking down to. I would prefer, probably the easiest way for you to do this would be to keep the cello here if you want to, but at the very least, probably walk down your double bass and walk down your synth bass to match, so that they follow together, so your low end is a little bit tighter and a little bit more connected. The other thing that I would probably do is carve some space on one of those basses so they fit together a little bit more, even pre-mix, right? So you actually know where these things are hitting in the mix, because right now there's so much mud. It's hard to know, even as an engineer, what needs to be placed forward, what needs to give space to the other. So I would probably dig into it just for a moment and see if you can't polish, maybe even cut out a little bit of the low end from the double bass and let more of the synth bass, or vice versa, right? Let the synth bass sit over the top just a little bit more, and maybe let the double bass carve some space for that, so they each kind of sit in their own pocket lightly. They can overlap a little bit. They're going to overlap a little bit. But if it's just 2 or 3, and the cello's fairly low too, so if it's 2 or 3 really heavy low end elements, then you are just going to miss out on some clarity. So I would try to get that just a bit more polished, and then I think you'll be in a good place. That starts at a minute 4. Starts at a minute 4. I don't mind so much the cello if you walk down everything else. And then walk down. There's tension there. I don't mind it as much, though. I think it's mainly the synth bass versus the double bass that need to probably match if you're going to have them both in that low of a register and have that much low end energy. The synth over the top to me is not nearly as interruptive, although it wouldn't hurt to give that a little bit of support too. Bjorn, thank you so much. Thank you so much for the follow. I really appreciate that. All the really low elements, just make sure they don't clash, make sure that they can work together frequency wise, make sure that they have a place in the mix. Some things need to be maybe a little bit more forward, some a little bit back, some a little bit thinner, some a little bit broader. Just make sure that each of those hold their space, even pre-sending it to the engineer, so they know kind of where to place things to an extent. All right, let's keep it going. Same thing here. You're kind of getting that same. Now you have this. Whoops. Now you have this really high stab, at the very, very top end off the D sharp again. I don't mind that. Again, it'll be balanced in the mix. I'm not too worried about that. I would make the progression a little bit clearer. So in this whole section here, I would do the same thing. Make sure your far lowest elements all follow and point in the same direction. Once you move yourself up different registers and different octaves, there's a bit more freedom for you to float around a little bit melodically and progression-wise, just like you are with the other strings and like holding on the D sharp with those stabs and stuff like that. But on the low end, make sure they all follow the same progression and stuff. Otherwise, it'll inevitably be very kind of boomy and muddy and washy, and you'll kind of miss out where the double bass even is versus the synth. They all just become this kind of blob of low end energy that you can't distinguish. So all through this whole part here, I hear the same thing. Starts at 104, but all through this, I would polish that up just a little bit. Bobby, welcome in. Thanks for being here. I like the dynamic range here too. This gives you a little bit more anticipation for the next section. Are there like, I couldn't tell if that was me earlier. I kept like turning down my phone and stuff. I was like, wait, is there something else? Is someone else like talking? Like what's going on? Is there a neighbor outside my door here? What's going on? Is there like a little whisper in the track in the background there? It was driving me nuts. I don't not like it. It was just driving me nuts for a second because like, wait, the murmuring choir, let's go. I was like, I kept hearing this like in the background there, and I was like, what the hell's going on? I kept like pulling up my phone. I kept like I had to look. No, I actually like it. I just kept thinking it was potentially like my phone playing the live stream too or something like that, and I kept like turning it down and be like, dude, what's going on? Okay, that makes all the sense in the world. I am also excited for that to have a bit more of its place in the mix, right? I did the same once or twice. That happened with a song. This artist kept sending in, it was driving me nuts. This artist kept sending in a song. This was probably a year, and you might even remember it. It was probably probably 2.5 years ago in the live stream at this point. They kept sending this beat, this like BeatStars beat, and then their vocal on it. They were a rapper and they were just rapping over this beat. And they kept sending in this song that had a knock in it. And it was like kind of 8D. So the knock was like coming from behind you. Every time, and I play the song 2 times, 3 times in every breakdown, and then he kept sending it in like once a week to get it fixed and stuff. And every time he'd send it in, I'd be like, "What? Like who's knocking on mine?" It was, dude, it drove me nuts. It was chaotic. I mean, it was cool in the beat, but every time I heard it, I thought someone was knocking on the door. It's gonna be the same thing here. It's like, are there voices in my head? What's going on here? Zaya, welcome in. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for the follow as well. I appreciate that. I have one that sounds like a dog. Dog barks in every time I throw my headphones off. Like I know, it's like, what's going on? Is there a dog right outside the room? Like, what is going on? I know that's the funny thing of having like some level of like Foley or like live effects or something like that in your song. Is almost every single time it'll throw you off for sure. Love the melody. That's beautiful. I love that that's your voice too. I would definitely here too. So we're talking a little bit about production structure. I would definitely encourage you to get some marching snares under there. Right now, you're relying on a pretty high velocity, really snappy, punchy, like metal snare. And the structure of the song, especially once it's mixed, that'll sound great. But I would love to hear. I would love to hear a really like dynamic rolling marching snare underneath this, not just bah, bah, where it's like so snappy, so forward in the mix. If you can find even like, I mean, depending on how you can structure this, find one in a VST that you're able to use, or just find a loop in the same VST or in the same BPM on Splice or something like that fits the structure that, fits kind of what you're looking to do, or, bring someone in with the snare and do some snare rolls on there. I think it'd be really nice because it's so forward and so hard of a snare. I think it's included in Spitfire Labs. Okay, cool. If you can find a marching snare under there. That just kind of fits underneath the structure that you have. I feel like it'll feel way more dynamic and not so direct. You know what I mean? Like not so right on the nose. It'll feel a little bit more orchestral as you have all these strings and pianos and synths and stuff that feel exactly marching into battle. There's all this instrumentation that makes it feel very symphonic. It makes it feel very orchestral. And then those drums that are really forward, which I don't mind. Like this, that reminds me of like Trans-Siberian Orchestra or something like that, right? Where you might have like metal guitars and lead guitars, and you also will have, drums more like this structure. Even Hans Zimmer in his live shows and a lot of stuff will use drums like this, but I still feel like it is oftentimes supported by more organic instrumentation, more like a marching snare and timpanis and like stuff like that make it feel a little bit more realistic, a little bit more dynamic. So just maybe a hint of that in there. We'll kind of glue it all together. Oh yeah, exactly. I appreciate you, Derek. Thank you for saying that. Edward, welcome in as well. Appreciate you being here. But yeah, profile link, Track Talk submissions. Just follow all the steps there. John, welcome in. Go to my profile, click on the link, and click on Track Talk Submission. All of the steps are listed out right there. You send it the email and then send credit underneath that. Same thing, just make sure the progression is followed here. So a lot of the stuff that we're talking about is kind of, it bleeds through this entire track, right? So just make sure the low synth bass and your double bass and all that follows the same progression all the way through this part right here. I like here, so I'm gonna back it up actually for a second right here. So you get a little bit more freedom here to open it up because you're not hitting with as many of like the spiccatos and the strings and pizzicatos and stuff like that. It's a little bit more open, so I think you can get away with the movement of the bass right there with the piano, which is beautiful, and then holding on the string still. But yeah, once you get back into here, we need to follow the progression again so it doesn't get too muddy on the low end here. But I do like the buildup. I think a snare will help, right? I do like the buildup. I do like the dynamics here a lot, especially once balanced. Once balanced, you're gonna be in a really tight space here, man. I love the roll going into your two. It's a great sequence. Eloquent, is it Eloquent? Maybe Eloquent. Thank you so much for hopping in. I appreciate you being here. I love the sequence going into this like arpeggio going into this last what I'll call like your instrumental hook here. Sounds really, really nice. It's a great movement. Once that's following. Once that progression's moving underneath it, that's going to be dramatically different feel, because right now it still feels a little separated, still feels a little bit muddy underneath right there. But once it's following the progression, that's going to be so beefy right there, so vibrant. So I'm excited for you to line that up because it has so much potential. Right now it feels restrained by the fact that the progression isn't being followed. So there's not enough elements in the mix changing with that progression for you to feel the power behind it. But once there are, it's game over. It's going to sound really, really nice. I wasn't sure about it that it came to life with, and it needs to be mixed in right. Like right now, it's really, really hot compared to some of the other elements. It needs to be balanced in as you will already do. So I'm not worried about it. Because right now it's very forward compared to a lot of the other things, and very wide, exaggerated wide compared to a lot of the other things. But once everything's in balance, once everything feels really cohesive and really connected, as in addition to the progression matching, it's going to be great. It's going to be great. You just need a couple things lined up and you're going to be in a good spot. To me, there's not a lot. It's just some polish with the percussion, making sure that still feels fairly orchestral. If you're going to use a lead that's like a metal drum like that, like a really snappy drum, a rock drum like that, supporting it with like timpanis and congas and some marching snares, something that feels still a little bit more organic, since everything else very much so is in that lane, I think will be really, really nice to keep that kind of cinematic feel. Especially because you're not supporting that drum with like a guitar, right? Not that I hear at least, there's no like electric guitar to blend the worlds of orchestral elements and rock elements. The guitar can oftentimes, Hans Zimmer does this a lot. Trans-Siberian obviously does this a lot, where you have this orchestra, and then you blend that with, other instrumentation, electronic instrumentation, like electric guitars, and mic'd up drums and stuff like that. If you're not gonna have the guitar, then I would blend otherwise and make sure that you have at least some percussion that matches it. I think you'll be in a much better spot. Love the build up here. Love the build up here. Yeah, right now that, that whole melody right there, great melody. I love what it's doing on the outside of the mix. It's just very, very forward. Same thing like we were talking earlier. In order to give more like kind of headspace for the engineer to actually hear where you want some of these elements, I would still pull those back by like 3 dB or so, 3 or 4 dB. Get them back into the structure of the mix. Give yourself a little bit more headroom and a little bit more clarity, so they're not overtaking everything. You can kind of hear where the song is, and by default also hear like where that vocal can sit. Since they're so big, it's hard to even imagine where a vocal could work their way into that mix. And so I would just pull them back a little bit, even just in the demo, so there's a little bit more clarity, to what you're doing. Katie, welcome in. Got you. Okay, cool. Perfect. Yeah, show some of that. Makes sense. Show some love. That is Derek Bennett in the chat. Derek Bennett, I will say this every time, man. You're super talented. I love that you tend to like produce, write, all even from like the lyric standpoint too, like writing lyrics and melodies, vocal structure, as well as instrumentation. You do an amazing job, man. I'm so proud of the work that you put in. If y'all are interested in working on some cinematic tracks and rock tracks, Derek Bennett, aka Tommy, 100%. BDJ, welcome in. Thank you so much for hopping into the live stream. But y'all definitely go show some love to Derek Bennett. He's a very, very talented producer. I've seen him grow like crazy in his craft, man. I'm so proud of the work that you put in. So please give it up one more time. You can find Derek Bennett. They're over on TikTok right now, but you can find them on YouTube as well, Instagram, all that good stuff. Definitely show him some love and support. He's about to get into, I was going to say, he said 2026 is going to go crazy. You're about to get into releasing just a wave of cinematic music and rock music that is going to be really, really powerful, man. Especially most of the tracks that I've heard from you in the last while haven't been mixed at all. So I'm hearing a lot of early demos, early ideas, kind of getting into the early formations of your production structure and unmixed stuff. So I'm excited. I'm excited for you to actually get some stuff moving, man. Tons of music, sync, and some other stuff. I'm so excited for you, man. Y'all give it up one time for Derek Bennett Music over on TikTok. Quick reminder that if you would like to submit your music, what we're doing here at Track Talk, these are 20 to 30 minute long form consultations. So we are, artists, producers, engineers, songwriters, musicians. They send in their music and we get into the details of their tracks. So we go 20 to 30 minutes, multiple listens through the song to get into the mix and master, production elements, sound design, lyric and song structure, and ideally offer some specific professional and actionable feedback on the structure of your music. If you're interested in that, if you're over on TikTok, hey, thank you so much, man. I appreciate you as well, Derek. Have an amazing, I know you just got home from work, so have an amazing rest of your night as well, man. Hope you get to chill for just a little bit. Thanks for hopping in. Thank you so much for sending in that track, man. I appreciate you. If you're on TikTok and you would like to submit for a consultation, DJ Opal, welcome in. Good to see you. Go to my profile, click on the link, and click on Track Talk Submission. If you're on Twitch, type !submit right there in the chat. If you're on YouTube, just go to the description of the live stream and you'll see the same link right there. Click on Track Talk Submission and you'll see all that you need in order to submit. One more time for Derek Bennett. Let me double check a few things real quick. Let me get a few other details here organized. I like that melody a lot. Super, super fun. Especially with that vocal, man. I love hearing more of your own vocals. Your own vocals in your own sampling, man. That's really, really fun. And then let me see really quick. Amuba, I think that's you. Let me see. Gilbert, welcome in as well. Dr. Pepe, thank you so much for hopping in. We will listen and break down absolutely any style, any genre of music. Sorry, I'm reading some of these messages here. Any style of music, any level of preparedness. It's a lot deeper than a rating here. We don't do just like a quick rating, trash or pass, or, just polls and stuff like that. If you want to send in your music, dude, I would absolutely love to hear it, but it's going to be a lot more than a rating. And some people want that, some people don't, but we're going to go really deep. We'll spend probably, I would say at least like 20 minutes breaking down your song. We're going to listen to your track multiple times. We're going to get into your mix and master. We're going to get into production elements, sound design choices. If you have lyrics and a actual song structure, we'll break down the formatting of that and the structure of that. And we're going to spend probably a little bit longer than just a rating. Doing it later again, because then sounds good. Absolutely. Yeah. We'll be around. If we're not on later tonight, I'll be live for much longer tomorrow. Tomorrow I'm hoping to do in between projects and stuff, hoping to do maybe a 4 or 5 hour stream. So I would absolutely love to get you up on the board as well. So yeah, just make sure that you're following, make sure you got notifications turned on, and we'll be live. Ideally, I don't know what this whole schedule looks like this week with holidays and stuff like that. I don't even know what day it is. But I'm aiming to be, as far as I know, live pretty much every day this week. I got to figure out schedule and things like that, but I'll be around. I'll be around. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate it a lot. But yeah, if anyone does want to submit for one of those consultations, and go really, really deep into the structure of your music, just go to my profile, click on the link, and click on Track Talk Submission. You can read through and follow all of the details from there. All right, let me see something real quick. Ba-da-do-do-do-do-do-do. Let's see here. Let me switch this over here real quick. Hold on. Oh yeah, there's the track here. All right, that should be good to go. Joanna's in the building. Welcome, Joanna. How are you feeling today? Steve's in the building. Welcome in, Steve. I don't have his session up. I would have to close out all of my audio to get his. Dude, let me see. Yeah, I'd have to close out audio on all the different platforms to get his up. Let me see what I can. Get up actually real quick. Y'all, thank y'all so much for hopping in. I appreciate you being here. Is it Christos? Thank you so much for being here. Wing, welcome in. I appreciate you hopping in. Thank y'all for hopping in on TikTok, Twitch, YouTube. I see y'all. Thank y'all so much for being here. I appreciate it. What are y'all up to today? What are y'all up to today? Y'all chilling, y'all working, eating. What are y'all doing? Let me see if I can pull something up here, because I don't think I have any audio up on that session. I'm gonna try. I don't think I'll be able to pull in all those other vocals that he has yet, but I can pull up the session. Skate Miles, welcome in. I did reach out to him though, and I told him, and he was fine. That I'm gonna send him some like high quality footage. Kiss and Crew, welcome in. Appreciate you hopping in. Welcome to the live stream. Audio's gonna cut for a second. Give me a moment, y'all. Check. Okay, that is. Oh yeah, that's not gonna work. There's so much latency. This is a big project, and this is not even done. But this has got a chunk of information to it, and this is. Woo! Damn. Jake Grave, welcome in. God, yeah, it's a big project. So, and it's super. The latency is going to drive me nuts. Just because my voice is coming in half a second later, just because I have a lot that I haven't printed on here yet, since I got him this session pretty quick. Let's see. All this is, I mean, it's largely done. I can't add anything new to it now because I don't have any of the other vocal files in here. But I can also this is all recorded to YouTube, so I can also like just share a clip of showing it and like talking about some stuff. Patrick's in the building. What's up, Patrick? Welcome in. Yeah, that's how it always is. It's full on YouTube and Twitch, but it's always cut out like this on TikTok. Sophia, welcome in. Thank you so much for being here. Appreciate it. Yeah, but I've had to change. Yeah, I've had to change everything on TikTok because it's kind of unideal. Honestly, I ideally would not have it like this. I just have it like this for right now, which is probably just better, and not even having it up there at all. So just so it's not messing with anything and making it all weird or whatever. Because it gives me some weird issues if not. I can get into this hook really quick. Frank, welcome in. Appreciate you being here. And if anybody is, we're still going to hopefully do a couple consultations tonight. I'm just messing through or just working through some of this production structure here, which I had to finish some of this really, really fast. So I wasn't able to like bus or print anything. So this is pretty, it still has some work to be done. And gosh, the vocal's going to drive me nuts because I'm hearing it with a bunch of latency because it's a pretty hefty production session. But I can walk through a couple things. But if anybody does still want to get into a consultation, we can definitely do a few more of those tonight. If you would like to, go to my link and click on Track Talk Submission over on TikTok. And if you are Doy Beats, welcome in. If you're on YouTube, go to the description of the live stream. You'll see the details there. And if you are on Twitch, type !submit right in the chat. So let me get to the outro of this. I'm going to play through the hook here really quick. All right, let's see. Okay, let me real quick, as we're just kind of diving into some of this, I just realized it's like, give me a sec. I'm gonna go back here. Hold on. I just realized it's like backwards on TikTok, which is interesting. Anyways, it's fine. It's fine. TikTok's funky. Okay, I'm gonna get back. I was like, hold on one second. I just realized that like the DAW was moving backwards and it was throwing off. It was throwing me off for a second. Patrick, welcome in. Lucas, it's so good to see you. Thank you for hopping in. Echo is in the building. What's up, Echo? Welcome into the live stream. I appreciate you. Appreciate you going. I appreciate you hopping in. Thanks for being here. Excuse me. How's it going today? It's going pretty good, Lucas. It's going pretty good, man. It's been a nice day. It's been a nice day. Just hopefully getting to a couple consultations tonight, and then we'll be back full on with projects and consultations tomorrow as well. But we're doing good, man. I hope you're doing well as well. And then Chris, thank you so much for hopping in as well. How y'all feeling today? All right, let me get back over here. It's gonna be zoomed in, but I'm not too worried about it. Okay, so I'm gonna bring back in the choir we created, Sam's vocal here as well. I'll keep her lead out for now, and I'm going to cut trills so we can actually get the full reverse and the Sam's vocals. We created a choir with Sam's vocals, a couple different printed things that we did to create a choir, and also using some little altar boy, a choir effect, another layer of her vocal, and a choir on that, some format shifting that we printed. So we basically took like, I think three vocal layers here, and made like, I'll solo it really quick, and made like a massive choir kind of a sound here. All from, I think like three or four different vocal layers. And you get this whole, just gives you a ton of energy, especially in the context of the hook and post hook and stuff like that. Working on a track I'll send you for a consultation in a couple days. Beautiful, Lucas. Dude, I'm so excited. I'm so excited, man. Thank you for dropping by too. Shock, welcome in. I appreciate you being here. And in context, you'll hear kind of how this sits in the song. This also, I believe, has her lead vocal over it as well, especially later on. This is gonna be a big project, though. It's got a lot going on. So this has a vocalist here already that I just have muted right now. James, welcome in. And then this goes into the hook with Sam. It's time to change the world. Let's be the change. Light it up like the sun. Let's rearrange. Come together now. Whoops. It's time to change the world. Let's be the change. Light it up like the sun. Let's rearrange. Come together now. We shine so bright. This was an extended. This song is actually used in a series of auditions for America's Got Talent. So there's a guy that I'm working with. He dances and entertains, and he had this song built for America's Got Talent. So this is going to be, he's already passed a couple layers of auditions, I believe, and working through maybe a couple more in the future. He's auditioned a whole bunch of times. So he's been chipping away at it. That's what this song is for. So hopefully, it'd be a really cool placement as well to actually have this performed live on America's Got Talent. It'd be a really cool opportunity. Let me walk through really quick the percussion, because I think the percussion is one of my favorite parts here. So I'm going to mute these vocals. And also, let me go down here. Helu, welcome in. Helu, hope you're doing amazing. All right, let's walk through some of the drums on this track, because there is a lot going on foundationally. So we have a couple things happening all at once. I would say kind of the main part of this drum structure is this kick and snare. This is like this is kind of setting the, largely the rhythm of the track. And let me see. Actually, let me switch over here. I want to make sure this is all lined up really quick. So this kick and snare is kind of the main rhythm structure of the track that everything else is built around. And then we just have a lot of filler, some marching drums and reverse snares and some other layers and noise layers and stuff like that, percussive layers. So that's kind of what it's all built on, but it really is foundationally here. That's kind of the foundation. Underneath that, we also have some filtered drums that are doing largely the same thing and just offering us a little bit more depth and a little bit more character on its own. Just way back there. Then we got hats over the top. The hats are a pretty complex movement here. We just have them doing a whole bunch of different stuff, some trills, but mainly like 16th notes across the board with some opens in there as well. But to me, my favorite part about this, and then here's, we added in the open hats here. And then we have some other layers kind of baked on top of that. We got our clap. It's huge. It's got a whole bunch of reverb on it. There's a lot of energy now that's kind of introduced into the mix. And then we have another percussion. Again, there's a whole lot of different things happening at the same time. We have a percussion loop in here as well, which has some kind of like gated and phased chorused shakers and rim shots and reverses and stuff that are all kind of sitting in the background here. Again, just building a little bit more nuance and movement. And then, in my opinion, what is probably the most important kind of layers on some of the most important layers that you hear here are like cinematic drums and drumline snares. So I have a drumline rim shot that comes in. I think it's like the 2 and the 4. There's a drumline rim shot and a heavy kick on separate tracks here. So you have a really, really heavy, dynamic, like, boomy kick, stompy kick with a drumline rim that's giving us a lot more texture in here. Bunch of reverb on the rim as well. And then you also have, again, 2 other really important elements would be some cinematic drums that we bring in there as well. These are some of the fillers. You get some toms, you get some extra snares in there. Again, very drumline, cinematic feel, all with a pretty big like pop edge to it, being that that's kind of the structure of the song. And then one of my favorite parts is the drumline snare. The drumline snare kind of keeps the rhythm going. You have like 16ths on there with some other rolls and flams that keep it feeling, busy and noisy, but also just kind of supporting the percussion structure. And all together, you get this. Such a cool feel. And then, of course, there's really not too many other, like to the breakdown here, there's not too many other layers. There's some risers and some cymbals that hit every once in a while. There's a bass that comes in for the main part of the hook, but for this breakdown, that's largely it. You do get a little stab Let me see, what else do I have in here? There. What else do we got? That might just be on the intro. Yeah, we have a trumpet too. So we get a little bit of there's a trumpet and a reverse trumpet here. So if you put these two together, these are actually from the Triton LE that's behind me, this little guy back here. But the Triton LE gives us these little trumpet stabs. Little auto pan on there. I believe that's an H delay. And that's just a bit of an accent coming through the intro. So I'll play it all together. Double tracked acoustic guitars, electric guitar layers. There's that little bit of a stab from the trumpet there. And then break it back to the acoustic. Just let off the gas completely there. But the main instrumental part that's not percussion is really just a couple layers for the verse. It's a double tracked acoustic guitar. It's really, really simple. I'll play that through really quick. Let me bring this back over here. Yeah, double track acoustic guitar and electric guitar. So here's the acoustic. Mic'd slightly different melodic structure there. Electric guitar, kind of a similar thing happening, working more towards the harmony there. I'm going to switch to this side. That's the electric guitar. Right side. Third note harmony. And all together you have that kind of all works together. And then underneath that, I have a monopoly. It's a Korg synth. Monopoly is doing kind of a pluck, kind of the same thing. You can hear a little bit of the kind of extra movement in there, a little bit of the auto pan on there. This one also has some chorus on it. The monopoly is great. I like it in here a lot. I'll play that on its own for a second. You can hear what it's doing in the mix. A little oversaturated. You get some chorus there. It's a little crunchy. A little bit of phasing. It's nice because everything else sounds so clean and rigid, you know, to an extent. Like the acoustic's very clean, the electric's very clean, the harmonies there are very clean. It gives you a little bit of texture here in the beginning. Andy Chilled, thank you so much for hopping in. And there's all of that together. You hear all of the little echoes and harmonies kind of working together right there. And then all together, I'll play through the hook here really quick. So the hook over here is where we'll introduce a couple other elements into the mix. We still do have the monopoly. So over the hook, I changed the progression for the guitars. So let me play through that. So the acoustic guitars here are doing a slightly different progression to kind of match the movement of the bass, which is in a different progression. It's not the same progression as the intro and verse. If you might widen the harp a little, it might be nice. Yeah, I'm going to keep it where it's at. There's a lot of other things going on, especially with the vocal structure in here. And it's also compressed on TikTok. Sorry you can't see me. It's a little weird. If I switch here, boom, you can see me, and we're back. It's weird on TikTok because it's a little bit over compressed. So in the context of the actual mix, both of those guitars are panned all the way to the outside double track. They're super wide. And so that the monopoly in the middle right there, that pluck synth is offset slightly with a pretty wide stereo delay and a chorus. So it's much, much wider in the context of the mix if you're over on YouTube or Twitch, but I don't want it super wide right there because I have a bunch of other vocal layers that come in on the verse that I don't really want that interrupting. All right, let me switch back real quick. Okay, so over the hook, we have this change in progression. And this is kind of an interesting thing. I actually took in this case, I played both of those double tracks of the acoustic guitar on the verse, and then I just sampled that for the hook and chopped it up to create the other progression. So I'm just using it to kind of reharmonize with the bass line, but you'll hear some like chops in there, dun, 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 just because I'm kind of replaying that and kind of chopping it up to create a different progression for the hook. So I'll play all the guitars together, and you can hear how they all, and the monopoly, you can hear how they all fit in. Slightly different movement. And then especially here, if we now bring in some of the other layers in here. So like, what is this one here? Oh yeah, we've got a Juno. I think we have a Juno 60. We've got, what else do we got here? Oh yeah, I think two Juno 60s in here. One's going bass. One's a 106, one's a 60. One's doing bass, one handling a little bit more of a lead line. Then we have an 808 in there as well. And the 808 is just kind of hitting underneath. Just progression following. And then we've got the big Juno bass. It's growly, it's nasty. I like it though. And then we've got the Juno over the top. Trem, welcome in. Thanks for being here. You can kind of hear how it all flows together, all works together, and all holds its own space. If I have everything doing the same thing, and I have everything wide or everything big or whatever, some of these layers are really subtle, like the monopoly is really subtle. The 808 is kind of just the attack of the Juno in there. So we have that growl from the Juno. I just want the 808 to be like the pulse to start that line when it's happening. But not everything's super, super forward or super, super dynamic. I'm just trying to allow each of these acoustic and electric and synthesized layers do exactly what I want them to do in the mix without being too muddy. And again, kind of in the context with everything in outside of the vocals, you get this pretty big sound. Everything kind of in its place. And it's got a ton of energy to it. Okay. And then of course on the vocal side, we have a balance between two different choir layers and then the lead vocal layer as well. So that once you bring in the choir layer and the lead vocal, you obviously get a lot more energy. And hopefully sometime in the future, sometime not so distant future, we get to see that on America's Got Talent. That'd be really cool. That'd be a really, really cool moment. Okay, really quick, if anybody is wanting to, Andy, I appreciate you. Thank you for your input as well. If anyone is interested, I'm going to switch back over here. If anyone is interested in a consultation, we're going to hopefully maybe take on just a few more. I really don't have a whole lot of time. I'm actually going to switch out of this session right now because the latency is driving me nuts. Mr. Dom, welcome into the building. I actually want to play through this hook one more time, though. Thank you. I appreciate it a lot. I'm going to play through this hook one more time. I want to make sure I have this other vocal in there. I do have some of the ad-libs from this other artist in there, but I don't want to unmute those right now because that's going to make it sound a bit more chaotic right now. Mr. Dom, it's so good to see you, man. I appreciate you hopping in. But if anyone is interested in a 20 to 30-minute consultation, if you want to get into the nuances, the details, the structure of your music, go to my profile, click on the link, and click on Track Talk Submission. We'll get you up on the board, ready to go. All right, let me play through this hook one more time and see where we're at.
It's time to change the world. Let's be the change. Light it up like the sun. Let's rearrange. Come together now. We shine so bright. Be light. Love's our
I'm going to play it one more time because I got to get Sam's woes in there really, really quick. The woes. Let me see because those are muted. Let me unmute those. All right, let me get those. Let's get those woes in there. All right. Now let's play through this hook. And see where it's at.
It's time to change the world. Let's be the change. Light it up like the sun. Let's rearrange. Come together now. We shine so bright. Be light. Love's our fight.
There we go. Those choirs turned out awesome. Beautiful. Okay, I'm going to switch out of the session, y'all. Give me just a moment. I'm going to switch back over here. So it's going to go mute for just a moment. It's gonna go mute for just a moment, and then hopefully we can get into a couple other tracks today. Let me switch this here. Check. Okay, should be back. Should be back on. Beautiful. Oh yeah, there we go. Beautiful. All right, there's something else we're working on. Someone important. Welcome into the live stream, y'all. Thank y'all so much for being here. I really appreciate it. I need to get Pro Tools up over on this screen. Give me just 1 second to reorganize here since I opened a different session. If y'all are coming in for the first time, welcome to Track Talk. If you're over on Twitch, YouTube, or TikTok, I appreciate y'all being here so much. If you've never been here before, we're walking through one of my clients' tracks over there, and we're working through a production on that. Excuse me for the allergies as well. But if you are interested in a consultation at all, if you would like to understand a little bit more about what we do, these are 20 to 30 minute breakdowns of the structure of your music. So we have artists, producers, engineers, musicians, songwriters send in their music. We spend about 20 to 30 minutes breaking down the structure from the mix and master, production and sound design, getting into the lyric and songwriting formats, stuff like that. So if you are interested in a full 20 to 30 minute multiple listen consultation, you can go to my profile on TikTok, click on Track Talk Submission, click on the link, click on Track Talk Submission, and then you'll see all the details right there. If you're on Twitch, type exclamation point submit in the chat. If you're on YouTube, go to the description of the live stream and you can see the same link right there. Just click same link, goodness gracious, same link right there, and click on Track Talk Submission. And for those of you who don't know, maybe you are coming in for the first time, my name's Torvik. I'm a full-time audio engineer, producer, and session musician. That's what I do for a living. I've done that for 13 plus years, and absolutely love it. It's amazing thing to do. It's volatile and has its ups and downs, but I'm so grateful to be able to do it. So if y'all are ever interested in working, whether through a consultation on the live stream itself, an offline email consultation, or of course, any of the services that I offer, production, structure, mix and master, session work, whether it's like synths, live drums, vocals, guitar, bass, acoustic, whatever it may be, just reach out at any point. I'd be more than happy to work with you. All right, let me see a couple things here real quick, and then we might change the world, be change. I'm excited for Life Explosion with that. I'm really hoping he can get some movement with that on AGT. That'd be really cool. Bambi, welcome in. Affliction's in the building. Affliction, welcome in over on Twitch. Thank you so much for being here. 100%. If you want to submit for a consultation, just type exclamation point submit right there in the chat on Twitch, and you'll see everything that you need. You'll see everything that you need right there. Thank you so much for joining. I really appreciate it. I'm not going to be on for very, very long. So if y'all do end up wanting to submit for a consultation, I would do it fairly soon because I'm only going to be on for like a few tracks today. We already got through a few, so I want to make sure that that people are getting in at a good time because I don't have a whole lot of time today. Let's see here. Oh yeah, that's the other project. That's the other project that I'm working on here. I gotta find out how to not have my camera attached to like my desk with my keyboard on it because sorry I'm making y'all dizzy. I'm shaking everything around. Yeah, that's probably I'm gonna wait for a second just in case this one goes through. Yeah, that's most likely. It's most likely what's gonna happen. I really, 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 really want to work on this song. I wish I had time. I'm not going to play it. I wish I had time soon because I want to finish it. I want to work on it. I want to start it, not finish it. I need to start it. But all right, I'm gonna give it probably another. It's 6:32. I'll give it till 6:35. If those don't come through, then I'll go ahead and call it, and we'll get on fresh tomorrow. We'll get on fresh tomorrow. Is what you're doing, Libby? Is it pretty tough? Is it ending up being more complex or something? Two more minutes, y'all. 2 more minutes, and then we're out of here. Belle, thanks for hopping in. I appreciate you being here. What's up, Sick Flow? All right, y'all. All right. We're gonna call it. We're gonna call it for tonight. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all so much. We will be live again tomorrow afternoon. So definitely hop in if y'all are wanting to get a consultation done or a revision on your music. Then just follow all those steps at the link tree. You can see all the details there. Sick Flow, it's good to see you. Hey, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Same to you. I love y'all. Appreciate y'all so much. Again, just really briefly before we hop off, even though y'all probably heard me say this a million times. Junie, thank you for the follow. I appreciate that a lot. If you're ever interested in services, just shoot me a message on Instagram, DM on TikTok, or you can reach out to me through our website, theobsidiankey.com. You can find my link. Just reach out through the contact form there. If you're ever interested in session work where you need like live drums, vocals, acoustic electric guitar, bass, I've got a bunch of synths, synths being one of the main things that people know me for. So if you're ever looking for synths on your song or need help adding synthesis to your song, layers to your song, just shoot me a message. I would love to do it. Or full production packages, mix and master, of course, stuff like that. Shoot me a message at any point. I would love to work with you, work out your timeline and your budget and stuff like that. So I appreciate y'all so much. Thank y'all for tapping into the stream today. Thank you for the follows, the likes, all that good stuff. I appreciate y'all so much. Y'all have an amazing rest of your day. And hopefully we'll be to see y'all tomorrow.